Alrighty, guys, so it's the day after the Cowboys' loss to the Buccaneers, and with it, pretty much it feels like the season's over. I already touched up on the last video, but the main thing I'm making this video for is because I'm really starting to think that, like, this is just Bizarro World. For those that don't know, Stephen Jones recently went on an interview, and I know I talk about him a whole lot, but this is key because we always have these discussions on whose fault it is. And Stephen Jones is blaming everybody else but himself. And I kid you not. He went out in this interview and he blamed CeeDee Lamb for not having the production that he thinks he should. Which, listen, I'm not trying to sit here and say that what we saw on Sunday night, like, okay, there's an excuse for that. Because let's be real. We could have played better. And it didn't look good at all. But it comes down to the front office. You acquire the ingredients for your chefs as coaches to cook. And if you don't do a good job there, then your season's going to suffer. So he blames CeeDee Lamb. He blames the offensive play calling and just the overall effort that we saw. And he says, like, oh, but we like our guys, and then Jerry's like, oh, there's no reason to panic and stuff like that. But the fact is, this team did it again. This team has put out a depleted roster and acts like everything's A-okay. Hey, you know what? We can do no wrong. Because at the end of the day, we have Dak Prescott, and he's supposed to elevate our play. Oh, what's that? The shitty roster we put around him can't do its job? Or the play calling just looks anemic? Oh, I guess it's him and Mike McCarthy's fault, but it's not ours. And I put up a tweet. I have said for years that it's literally the same problem. It's the front office, right? You go from 2001 to 2005. Oh, we don't have a quarterback, so we were screwed. Then you get the quarterback in Tony Romo, and then from 2006 to about 2015, oh, he sucks. It's his fault that we're not winning games. Then you go into this era with Dak. Oh, it's Dak's fault that we're losing games. Then you go to your coaching staff. Oh, it's Wade's fault from 07 to 2010, and then it's Garrett's fault, and it's Mike McCarthy's fault. But no one really touched up on the front office until, like, really this year. And I'm glad that people are actually recognizing the flaws of this organization, because that is exactly the problem. And I've said this in a lot of videos prior to week 1. You have made this bed. You must lay in it. Don't go get any other guys, because I thought you liked your guys. You don't like Cooper Rush, you don't like Will Grier, well, tough shit. Go stick with that and see how it works. Do you get to 500 when Dak comes back? Okay, cool. Do you go 1-7? Do you go 0-8? 2-6? Let's just be real, like, this team is screwed unless they are able to be hovering around 500. This season is over, and I don't want anybody to tell me otherwise. And I said it. Listen, when you don't have a plan for fucked, and when your quarterback goes down, you don't really have a plan. And I'm not sure if I'll sincerely watch these games with full intent, because as you can see by the titles of these videos and sure, I still have the same backdrop, I'm not really caring as much anymore for the way this team performs on Sundays, Mondays, or Thursdays, Saturday, whenever they play. And I think that a lot of fans are just fed up. Sure, we can keep blaming the players, but who acquires the players? The front office. If you have a problem with the player, why are we blaming the front office for the performances? Oh, you don't like how a coach did? Why don't we talk about how the front office hired these coaches? Oh, what's that? They're trying to sabotage them so they can bring in Sean Payton or move Dan Quinn up so that they can get rid of Mike McCarthy? And oh, what are you going to do? Oh, we're going to move on from Dak Prescott by forcing him to trade himself or ask for a trade, which, okay, go ahead. Do it. I mean, we're talking about the same front office that has no real self-awareness for how to build a roster, and this is one of those prime years. 2015 was another year where I felt like the team wasn't properly built to where they can seriously, yes, I get it, quarterback injuries happen, but now it's a matter of, okay, if you can get a high enough draft pick, do you trade a top draft pick for a new head coach? Like, I don't think it's going to be like a Bruce Arians situation, or I think it's going to be like a Bruce Arians situation where the Cowboys might have to give up like a 4th round pick or something like that for Sean. But if they give up anything higher than that, you better hope to God this guy fixes everything. But this, and this is going to be the key thing, and this is why I'm like, Stephen Jones is like the most hated man in Dallas. If you do not give your coach the ability to do their job properly, and that means, hey, we need to go sign some guys. Can you go, I like these guys. Can we get these guys? Or like, what do you think? I want to draft these players. If you do not give the coach the ability to do his job, then guess the fuck what? Your team isn't doing shit. And that's just the honest to God truth of the matter. Now, I get it that a lot of us are still upset with where this team has gone. But look, the bright side is hey, you know what? We get early draft season stuff. We get to talk about the draft. And I think the biggest thing is that who cares anymore? Who cares? You know, we're kind of in a situation where you better hope to God that this team is not below 500 enough, like, to where it's like, oh shit, we can't do anything. Because you indirectly, or realistically, you directly caused the injury to your quarterback because you didn't address the offensive line as properly as you should. You didn't address your wide receiving room as much as you should. Now, you're free to disagree with me. I'm not saying that any of the players played well, and that was really a big red flag for me. Was like, listen, you guys aren't playing well. You know, I don't care if it's preseason or not, but I find that kind of weird because it's like, you know, to kind of talk about the players, Zeke looked well, and he was running efficiently, 5.2 yards a carry, but you stopped giving him the ball. Dak Prescott really wasn't looking so hot, so you kept passing the ball. Why are we doing the opposite here? And then the thing that alarmed me was that it really felt like your offense looked out of sync. Dak didn't look comfortable with what was being run out there. A lot of your guys felt so apathetic. Now, defensively speaking, Micah Parsons was nice, and hey, Brett Maher made a kick. That's awesome. But let's just be real. What did we expect to happen? You know, are we really going to sit here and, you know, sure, every other team can laugh at us, every other fan base can laugh at us, and that's A-okay, because who cares? We had no expectations of doing anything this year, so, you know, I think that, look, it's fun to just see where this team can go. We have nothing to lose. If we lose games, nice, we get a high draft pick. And if we win, cool, that we get Dak back, and we just hope to Christ that maybe we don't fuck this shit up. But, that's kind of where I'm at with this. I think that you need to think of something. And if I'm Mike McCarthy, just take the fucking play calling away from Kellen Moore. I'm sick and tired of seeing people excuse the shit. I'm sick and tired of people saying, well, you know, Kellen was okay, but the players should have played better. Well, maybe as a coach, isn't it your job to put your players in these positions? Like, you know, I don't know. I really don't know. I think that we are in for a doozy this year. We have the Bengals up next, and, you know, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to be going live later with DMV, Fanatic, I think Big Game James, and Set It Off Chris over at Frankly Football at 8 o'clock. So I hope you guys tune in. But I'll catch you guys later, all right? Have a good one.